Paint versus rust. You know, when I first started on this truck project, a fellow got on YouTube, saw some of my clips on YouTube in the very beginning, and he called me up and proceeded to tell me how this truck should be fixed and various things that I needed to do to it. And I don't know, kind of in kind of an indignant manner of speaking, informed me that he just could not get excited about rust. And I told him I have a formula for it. I make rust. I have recipes to make rust. And that's true, because I doing this garden art thing long before I started on this truck. I do a lot of garden art, and I would actually go buy newer sheet metal and make it rust so that it had the look and the patina that I was after. And you know, I have here in my cabinets things that probably should be in a vault somewhere with 4-foot thick concrete walls. You know, I've got corrosive material enclosed, sulfuric acid, I've got apple cider vinegar, I've got some stuff here that I made this label up when my kids were still at home. They weren't real young, they were old enough to know not to get into anything, but it's kind of a joke. There was no label on this bottle, so I made one up and put on it. But you know, I have recipes that I can mix up some concoctions and make rust just overnight. And one time I was flying out to go on a business trip somewhere, and I got the airport security, and they pulled me over, and they had swabbed my luggage and came up with a, you know, fed it into a machine and came up with a sample that something didn't look right to them. So they pulled me over and began to question me about my luggage and things I might have handled, materials I might have handled in the last or that day or that morning, whatever. And sure enough, that morning I had carried some stuff out the yard, and I washed my hands, but there was traces I guess on my luggage, because I explained to him that I use these materials to make things rust and that'll do the garden art thing, and the guy kind of smiled and he said, well, that would do it, that would show up. So at any rate, yeah, I make things rust, and some people like paint and some people like rust, and I guess more people like paint. You know, when I go to car shows, there's a number of people that really like this truck, and there's a number of people that don't like it at all. And you know, I'm not offended at all by people not liking it, because opinions are like belly buttons, you know, pretty near everybody's got one, and it would be a real boring world if we all liked exactly the same things. And so I just happen to like this rusty old iron, old tractors, old one-lunger engines, stationary engines. Anything. I don't know why I like it rusty and old looking. I prefer that over nice shiny paint. I guess it just reminds me of an era gone by, but I think it depends on the application. You know, I had that 63 Impala Super Sport that was a numbers car and totally original, and there was only one way to go with that, in my opinion. I felt like it had to be restored, and so that's what I did. But this thing, on the other hand, was falling. Just, I mean, it was in pieces. I had to tie it together to keep it on the trailer, keep pieces from flying off and, you know, flying down the freeway when I was bringing it home, because it was so rotted out and so bad. And I could have, you know, I had guys, you got to restore it. There's guys say you got to restore it. You got to restore it. You can't restore it. You got to chop the top. Oh no, don't chop the top. On, and you know, I built it for me, so I built it the way I wanted it. And you know, in my opinion, there again, I think I went the right direction, because for my application, I could have spent $30,000 to restore this truck, and when I got it all finished, I'd have a truck worth about $6,000 or $7,000 that would go 30 miles an hour with manual brakes. And I really didn't want that. I wanted something I could go down the highway in and enjoy and drive, and that's what I have.